Oprah does it. Ellen does it. Now I'm going to do it. You know what I'm doing? Don't go anywhere. Breaking Into is next.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Lives. Breaking Into.
That's right. Oh, Vanessa Williams. We got work to do. Hi, welcome to Breaking Into on Black Hollywood Live. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. And we're talking about work, but in a fun way. Some products that I like. It's called My Favorite Things. A few of my favorite things that are out there. You can follow us on Black Hollywood Live on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. The Breaking Into page is on Facebook. Like it. All the products I'm talking about today will be showcased on pictures on that page. Yes, we're talking about work and entrepreneurship and doing things for yourself. It is not easy. There's a video, if you can find it out, there's a video of me on a sister show, on our sister network, Popcorn Talk, called I Could Never Be. The host is Michael Klaus, a friend of mine, and I was the guest, and we talked about what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And I say something that people just seem to love when I said it, that being an entrepreneur is hard as F. That's exactly how I said it. And people love it. And it's so true. If you are a small business, large business, medium-sized business, if you're a home business, if you have an office, doesn't matter, I salute you. It's the American dream. It's the American dream to have your own business for many of us. And we have people in our past who couldn't own businesses. And so I stand on their shoulders today. That I get to have a business. So we're going to start off with me a little bit and what I do. And then I'm going to show you some of my friends and people who actually endorse this show and their products. And I'm going to give you a few things I also like at the same time. It's going to be a nice, fun show. So you're going to sit there and stay tuned, and you're going to want to see what's going on. When I first started the show 2.5 years ago, I had a motto, which is still the theme of the show. I used to say it every episode. You can go back and see those first 10 or 11 episodes, I always said it. But I talk about sharing knowledge, lifting each other up, and paying it forward. That's like my big thing. That's what I do in life, and that's what I do in my business, and I do on my show. The purpose of the show literally is not just breaking into an industry, but also breaking into the people who work the industries that they work in, why they do what they do, their philosophies. And then you get some tips also. But I wanted to showcase them, and almost every single person I've had on the show, I don't think there's anybody person on the show, is doing something that is affecting positive change in the world. And I've interviewed, from musical artists to fashion, clothes, an airline pilot surgeon, Dr. Clarence Lee. Shout out to him. Clothing makers, actors, actresses, directors. I mean, I've had all kinds of people on the show, and wildlife experts. I've had a lot of people on the show, and they're all doing things that affect change in the world, which is what I'm trying to do by having the show. See how that works? And for myself, some of you may know this, some of you don't know this, but I have my own businesses outside of Black Hollywood Live and the AfterBuzz Media family. We're going to show some pictures of a couple of my logos, and one is my JLJ Media, which stands for James Lott Jr., obviously. I started laughing when I said that. I don't know why I started laughing. This is James Lott Jr. Media, and that's mostly my media stuff. Black Hope Productions, which I've had for a while, which is another kind of media company that I have. And, of course, for many of you who know this, the Super Organizer. That's right. That's how I started. That was my first business. And I'm telling you, I started from scratch. I'm talking from nothing. There are great programs out there that you can look online that can teach you and show you ways on how to run your business. I took some small business courses at Cal State LA, actually, and around that time, just to get familiar. I've also, in my personal life, a professional life, I've run companies, I've run stores, I used to work in retail, food, so I've been management, I've done HR. So there are things that I have done that led me to this, but it is different when it's your own business. Everything falls on you. It's all you. Whether you succeed, fail, it's you. But I'll tell you something. One of the things that I do miss, one of the few things that I do miss about working for a company, sick pay, vacation pay. I do miss those. Because when I don't work, I don't get paid. And so I guess the goal is for some people, for many people when you have business, is to get paid while you're not working, right? I have a great, one of our leaders here, Keven Undergaro, who started this whole thing, said to me once, you want to get paid while you're sleeping. I love that phrase. You want to get paid while you're sleeping. So I actually have started some sources of revenue last year where I am getting paid while I'm sleeping, and I do sleep. Contrary to popular belief, I get 7 to 8 hours. I do sleep. I do go to bed. And I'm just going to show you a couple of my latest things that I'm working on that I want to show you guys. One is in my hands, actually. I am a recording artist. One of the many things that I do, one of the things I started almost a year ago, I became a recording artist. Recorded my first song, "I Am Ready." We've played it on here on the program several times. We actually played it last week too. "I Am Ready," and it led from a one-off production to something fun and a whole new career. I've released 7 singles. It's like I'm laughing because I can't believe it, and I have a couple of collaborations. But my first actual physical CD single came out last week, and it's called "My Soul Needed a Cigarette." This, people love the title, of course. My sister thought of the title. My sister Zandra, shout out to her. We were going through some problems in our family, and she said she had a dream where her soul needed a cigarette. So this is my first actual CD single that is out. I'm so happy and proud of that. And it's going to be from my forthcoming album, my solo album that's coming out. I can make this announcement now. My birthday, May 10th. The album's called Songs from My Inside Voice, and I'm working on the cover right now and the last minute stuff. But it'll be out May 10th, so you're getting a little exclusive from me. But in the meantime, in a few days, in 3 days from this program that I'm filming right now, my first ever EP is coming out. We're going to flash that out. With a group I did, it's a group named Chog. They do like quirky dance songs, and they do stuff on their own. But we recorded 5 songs together. So the album's we call the 5-song EP. It's coming out on April 5th. And 2 of the songs are already singles. "Oh My God, Like Totally," and "Honey Lamb." And they're fun dance songs. Now here's what's kind of crazy. Now I was talking about this on the show that I did with Alice last week about how you never know how things are going to turn out. So most of those songs, when I played the album and the songs for kids, I'm talking like from 2 years old on, they love it. So I think I just made a children's dance album. It's the story of my life. So it's kid friendly. So I'm gonna promote it to that too. So it's coming out April 5th. I'm so excited to do that. Also, I am doing workshops. If you're in the LA area or at least Southern California, and you can go to my my page, The Super Organizer, and you can see these, or my blog, thesuperorganizeruniverse.com, and you can see these. And my first, I'm doing one called "Get Organized Part 1," and that's I'm giving you the basics on mindset and some tips on how to get organized in general. That one's on April 7th. So if you're in Los Angeles, come on down. It's $20. You follow the directions of the flyer. It's gonna be in West LA. There's parking, free parking there on site, that's an LA thing especially. And we're gonna have some light snacks and food. I'm giving away gift bags. Yes. What's in the gift bags? You have to come to find out. You'll see what's gonna be in there. It's gonna be some fun stuff. And then on April 28th, I'm doing another one, and that one's be called "How to Organize Your Ideas." So that one is slightly different. It's going to be how to organize your ideas, and people are signing up for that. And I have some coming up in May. So I have some workshops rolling out, all part of my business. One of the things about business, you have to be ready to roll with change, always do self-check-ins, always pay attention to how your business is running. Sometimes you have to, it may be a name change, it may be a change on how you do something, it may be a policy change, it may be a direction that takes off that you didn't expect, and that's the bread and butter of your business. So for me, I am doing speakings now. I'm going across the country. I'm what they call, I'm a member of this organization called NAPO, which is the National Association of Professional Productivity and Organizing. They changed their name. And I go and speak at their different chapters. And I'm actually using my media and my organizing, and I'm throwing it together. And that's something that you learn how to bend. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to bend. Everything can't be just one way or the other. You'll fall apart. That's my major success. Be able to bend. This is very, very important. Things could change in an instant. Something can not work. It sounds good on paper. You tested it, you thought it would be good, and the public does not respond. It's okay. there's other things they'll respond to. And I'm telling you, that's something that I'm learning and I have learned over time. But these workshops are really fun and stuff. So we're doing that. Okay, and let's see. What was I going to say? And my guests that I have on the show, I'm just going to shout out to all you guys out there too who watch. Thank you so much for watching and commenting. If you know people who are in the Southern California, LA area and have no problem being on camera and you have something that you're working on, it could be a book, could be a song, could be music, could be products, contact me. You can contact me on the Breaking Into page, contact me, and maybe there's a spot for you on the show. I'm here to showcase people, again, who are doing things that are positive change in the world. So I'll make sure I said that. And down there. Now let's go into some of the products. So I'm wearing a shirt right now. Okay. It's called Every Play Matters. And this company was on the show a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, like in February, last month. And they gave me this shirt. They gave me a couple of shirts. They gave me some hats. And I'm going to show you a piece of that episode because actually it tells you why he started the company. It's really quick. And some more of their clothing and pictures. Let's show that. Hats, shoes. There's a million brands out there who don't really say anything. It's just a brand. So we see the name stuff.
Right.
Why not have a brand that actually has a meaning behind it?
Right.
And you wear like walking billboards, right? Mm-hmm. Looking at you guys right now, we're walking billboards. So why not see it? Go, oh, I know this brand. They stand for a blank, blank, and blank, and you're passing it along. And so, where'd the idea come from?
The idea came from just me being a former athlete, just making plays on the field.
Because it's very much like a basketball, baseball, football kind of play.
Yeah,
right.
Just, as you being an athlete, transitioning to life and just growing and just developing yourself mentally and physically and just, learning life and stuff like that, even the good times and the bad times, and it just winds up to yourself just knowing like these are the plays that I'm making in life. So it's like, why not come up with a brand that means something so where you can wake up in the morning and just stand by something that's giving you confidence and the motivation to just get out here and make it count on the daily.
Well, I wanted to show that, and that's exactly, I love that message, and I love that in the sports analogy. And the clothing feels good. It feels good. It's good quality. They're from Kentucky originally, but they're here in Los Angeles. They're a brother-sister team, and the family's so nice. But they have great products. They have all kinds of different clothing options, men and women, all sizes. This is an extra large. You can find them if you want to start anywhere. Every_play_matters on IG. Go to Instagram, follow them there. It'll lead you to everything else. But they're a great family. They have a great message. They're really trying to spread love along the world, and it's for everybody. That's what I love. It's for everybody, not just for a certain group of people. So if you like sweats and outerwear and things like that, try them out. They're good. My next one, I'm so excited. So one of my most memorable guests on my show was Miko Branch, and she was on, I guess like 2 years ago at this point. We stayed friends. We stayed in contact. She's based out of New York. Her and her late sister, TT, wrote a book called Creating a Successful Business from Scratch, Naturally. If you don't know what Jessies Haircare products, I will tell you, because they're so popular, and they're Black owned, and they're for hair that is super curly. They have a lot of products, and so they were so just generous to send me some of their latest line of products. So you're getting kind of these are new. You can buy them now; they're out there, but this is like something new. Some new stuff that came out. So I'll make sure they sent me sheets. I'll make sure I say these all correctly and get the stuff out there. But their products really work. My mother, my sisters, they all use the products. They love them. They have smoothing gels and curling gels and activators and all kinds of stuff, because curly hair is tough. As you can see, I don't have any hair, really. I don't have curly hair, so my hair's straight and kind of wavy-ish, so I don't have that problem. But I know for my family members, making sure the curls either stay tight or to tame them down a little bit, it's a lot of work. And so Miss Jessies Haircare products are good for that. The first one is called Hold Me Down. I love that one. And Hold Me Down has an extra strength, flake-free edge control with all-day staying power. And it's good for, like flyaways, baby edges, baby hair. It's enriched with coconut oil, argan oil, and it adds shine and moisture. So we like all that. Her products are all made naturally. And so, because I remember back, well, for me back in the 80s and 90s, when I did have a lot of hair, some of those products you use, you could almost drink the alcohol while you're wearing it, or something was so heavy or stiff afterwards, or they'd flake. Oh my God. I'm talking to you, Aquanet. But then I also found products that I did like back then, like Trace Flores and certain pomades. I just slick my hair back and stuff. But some of that stuff, it really did do a number on your hair, and that's her products are so good because they also protect your hair. If you want anything happening to that. Another one is her Mafura oil, hair oil. It encourages hair growth. It's good for your scalp and your hair up there, and it helps reduce split ends. So that's pretty good. It's infused with, and this actually sounds good to eat. It's infused with soybean, seed butter, avocado oil. Well, I won't care about the castor oil, but it's castor oil in it, jojoba seed oil, argan oil, and sweet almond oil. It also includes, I have bad eyes. Look at this. Abyssinian oil and coconut oil. So some good stuff in there. So it encourages maximum hair growth, provides major moisture, prevents hair breakage, and it soothes and it leaves dry or itchy scalp. Ooh, nothing worse than a dry, itchy scalp. I know that's just, ugh. And shine. So that's another good product there. You just put a little bit in and it probably works. We also have Curls So Fresh, which we have Curls So Fresh and we have Gloss So Good. A lot of her products they have her older products. If you don't know any of them, they're like Pillow Soft Curls and Honey Curls, all these things. But this is Curls So Fresh and Gloss So Good. Curls So Fresh is a hair shine product. Curls So Fresh is also good. You just spray it on and it revitalizes your curls. Like I was telling you, sometimes because you go through the day, depending on what weather you're in. Some people, you're probably in high humidity, and that stuff's it's kind of crazy. The curls fall out, depending on how heavy your hair is, what hairstyle you wear. But this is actually, you spray it on, it revitalizes the curls, it infuses some moisture and shine, and it's supposed to be instant hydration. Sounds good to me, right? Sounds good. So Miss Jessie's Haircare products, some great stuff. Go to MissJessies.com for more details. She's sold everywhere. I mean, she's in every store that I know of. I mean, I think I've seen her stuff at Target, everywhere, but she's good. And as I would say, you wanna go there. And let's see, we got that over there. My next favorite things, so good. These cookies. Here at AfterBuzz TV, I usually she is okay. So my girl Meredith, who lives in Culver City, and a local girl here, and just super nice. She runs this cookie joint. The cookies are so good. I mean, fresh ingredients made fresh for you. It's called Cookies Hell Yeah. That's my girl, and you can find them around town. She sells them at different places around town. But I'm telling you, these cookies are good. I can't even. I mean, I can't even tell you. I mean, I wish I could just feed them to you through the screen. She has a chocolate chip cookie that's delicious, a oatmeal raisin chocolate chip cookie that's delicious, peanut butter cookies. Some of her cookies she has are gluten free. Some are vegan. We're talking vegan, no dairy and that stuff, so vegan. And she puts the ingredients on. Hell yeah, exactly. Oh, my producer Marissa made a little comment. I love it. And she's had them. Also, the ingredients are on the packaging. So if you're like me, I have to read the packaging on everything to make sure I can have what I have. She's very transparent what's on there, but very few ingredients, but they're good. They're good ingredients. I'm just telling you, they're good. Cookies Hell Yeah, you can find her on all social media platforms at Cookies Hell Yeah. Like literally, that's just Cookies Hell Yeah. And place an order. Her prices are good, and they're so good. I can't even say it enough. I can tell you 10 times how delicious when you bite into them. How good. Unfortunately, I can't eat those cookies right now because I'm on a special diet. Or I'd eat one right now, right in front of you. And give you the full cookie experience. But trust and believe, these cookies are good. And she's a local girl, and she's working hard. And I just love you, Meredith. And with that, she's good. Now, I have a couple of things I'm going to show you. I have in my hands a couple of things that I really enjoy. One of my guests on the show, she was on last year. And her name is Devin DeVasquez. She actually wrote a book called The Day It Snowed in April about her relationship with Prince. Her and Prince had dated back in the 80s. And she's from Louisiana, and she's great. Her husband, Ron Moss, used to play Ridge Forrester on Bold and the Beautiful, and was also one of the players in the group Player in the 70s, had the #1 hit, Baby I'm Back. So she's been around for a while. And this Devon's Kick-Ass Cajun Seasoning is kick-ass. And I think Marissa's going to pull up an actual picture for you guys, too, so you can see a little closer. Devon's a great person. She's my friend. She has a mini empire. She's won Emmys. She has TV shows, web series. But I'll tell you, this kick-ass seasoning is delicious, and it's good on everything. It is good, and it's Devon's Kick-Ass Cajun Seasoning. It's some good stuff. And the sodium content's not that bad. I'm telling you, because I look at sodium, no fat, no cholesterol, no carbohydrates, no sugar, protein. It's very cool. It's so good. Thanks, Marissa. And it's so good. And she's such a nice person. Support her and her husband. I love them. DevonVasquez.com for that seasoning, and it's really good. Now I'm going to show you a couple other things that I also like. These are like my honorable mentions. They haven't. They've endorsed. Okay, the next two I'm going to mention have endorsed my show. Barefoot Bubbly, which has endorsed my show several times. Great products. I always my producer on the show right now, Marissa, she's not a big drinker of bubbly, but she likes when I bring them in because she drinks these, so I always get the good flavors.
Barefoot is amazing.
Barefoot, it is, and it's so good. And it's so, they have like peach, they have berry. I think everyone I brought in, we just drank through. It's so good. The good mimosas are good by themselves, but also they're not expensive. And they give you a big amount. There we go. It's a picture of that. They give you a big amount in these liter bottles. It's really good. Not expensive. Between $6.99 and $11.99. Get a couple of bottles. So good. So good. So good. And I want to thank them for. Let's say some of these products and things. And I've had them on the show before here. So thank you so much. A shout also to my girl, Celebrities Closets, Letitia Gabor. Go to her shop. It's in Sherman Oaks. You go over there, and she actually has celebrities stuff in her store that she sells, and the proceeds go to that person's charity. So an actor may have something that goes towards a charity. So I want to give a shout out to her. I also want to give a shout out to Black Don't Crack. My girl was on a couple weeks ago. She was on Culver City. I call it Fox Hills Mall. I know it's bad. It's not Fox Hills Mall. It's Westfield, Culver City. They'll always be Fox Hills Mall to me. She's there. She has a store. She just told us she has a store there now. First it was a pop-up. Now she has a store. Her shirts are so comfortable. And also a shout out to my cousin Maya and her man who have a shop of clothes called Sucker Free, 100% Sucker Free. And you can go on IG and you can find the page there. The shirts are comfortable. They have a meaning on them. There's a bad word in some of them, so I can't really say the bad word on TV here, but you go there, you'll see it. It's all meant for something good, that we are done with bad stuff, that we are for real good stuff. The shirts are super comfortable, men's and women's. Sucker free, 100% sucker free. It's another word, I can't say the other word, but it's really good. So those are my shout outs for them, because they're doing good stuff. There's a book, so I like to read, and there are two books I'm going to show you right now that I love. One is called Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. And this book is completely part of the new world of taking poetry and short story, like very short story, and mixing it together. Reason why I like this book, that's the way it feels like soft and everything. And it's a bestseller. It's huge. This book is huge. It's so interesting. The placement of the words, there are illustrations part of it. There it is. There's illustrations. There are pictures. There are sections. I like the some things are in lowercase. Everything seems deliberate. And there's a debate from some people, because I'm an author also, and I'm an author of 8 books. And I write short story. I have the Real Short Story Project. I write short stories. And I write poetry. I have one poetry book out. I have one coming out. And some people say short story is different than poetry. Some say it's very similar. Some say it's because in poetry, you can be a little more sing-songy, I guess. But you could tell a story that way, too. I always think, okay, so there's a song from the 80s. I'm going to date myself. By Slick Rick. It's called Children's Story. It's a very famous song. anybody my age, or any kids who grew up with parents who are my age, know the song. He basically raps a story. It's a whole story. There it is. The beat of hey, ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. This song is the bomb. It's so good. And he's telling a story to his nephews, and it goes through a whole thing. So if you take the music out, it's a short story, right? Or if you take that music out, is it a poem? That's kind of like the thing. It's like you take the music out of it and you just read it as is. I feel like you can read as either. You can read it as a short story, or you can read it as a poem. Because he does rhyme in some parts, but not all poems rhyme, right? So there's that also. And I think it's just interesting that there are now more and more books coming out, like Milk and Honey, that are blurring the line, doing both. They're blurring the lines. So I think it's just very interesting. But it's just really good. I just want to say that. So, and I brought up a new point to you. I do spoken word poetry, and I do music. It's like, and I do short stories. So there's times when I'm writing, I don't know what's going to be until I'm done. Or halfway through it, it reveals itself to me, like what it is. And then I market it that way. Because there are spoken word artists like Gil Scott-Heron who did some stuff with music, but he was a spoken word poet. He also was a recording artist. He was kind of a storyteller. And most that's rap. You think about rap that way. Country, there are many country songs that are completely stories. And if you take the music out of it, just read it as a story. You know, totally. And it would, oh my God, like totally, no. It would be, and my producer loves some country too. I love some country. I grew up, with Tammy Wynette and George Strait and Randy Travis and Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton and KT Oslin. I grew up with all these people who, when they told a story, it was in song. Olivia Newton-John. These are people who they said everything they would put it down. Loretta Lynn, I think I said Tammy Wynette. These are people who just they would always tell a story. I was even a Garth Brooks fan and a Shania Twain fan in the '90s. Their songs told stories. I mean, and even you give it to Taylor Swift. Most of her songs tell story. So you take the music out of it. What's it? Is it a story? Is it a song? Is it a poem? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Little side note, I will give a shout out to Shania Twain, her new album that came out last year. I loved it. I thought she has a song called Poor Me that's about her divorce and finding out about her husband cheating with her best friend's wife. It's good. To me, it's a great story, actually. It's a great little story. It's called Poor Me. I saw Shania in concert, so I'm going to give a little shout out to her. Also, there's another book that I like called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning by Margarita, I'm not sure I want to say it correctly, Magnusson. Very, very Swedish. It's a new book. It's a hot new thing in my business right now. I was at a conference in Houston. I was a speaker, and people were talking about this book. Because I don't know if you remember, some of you may remember this, because it got lots of news. Organizing books don't get a lot of news usually, but the whole, what's her name? Kari Mari Khan, whatever her name is, who did the whole condo method about, make sure you love your stuff or don't keep it. She's from Japan or China or somebody from Asia. That was a big book for a minute. And that was huge. And I touched on industry. This one now is our latest kind of thing in the industry. And it's about your approach to what you keep and what you don't keep. And it's from a Swedish perspective. Because obviously in other countries, they're very different than we are. And I'm really curious. I just started to read it, so I'm very curious to see what this book's about. But I like it. How to free yourself and your family from a lifetime of clutter. But I just want to make sure I made a shout out to this. The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. I just love that title. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's another one too. I would also, they didn't sponsor, but I like them so much, and I can't eat them anymore because I'm trying to be better. Sugarfina. They opened a bunch of stores now in Los Angeles, and they have these cute little, all their packaging is so cute. And they have things like you like gummy bears? Well, they got bubbly gummy bears that are like champagne. And she's showing right now champagne. They have bourbon bears that taste like bourbon. God, I wish I could eat these so much. I'm about to give these away. These little sugar pearls, the cutest packaging. They've really have started to revolutionize how sugar for adults is being sold to you. And they have like 40-something stores. They're all over the place now. I go to one in El Segundo, and that's near where I live. But Sugarfina is cute. It's a luxury candy boutique. I just want to make sure I mention that. I love their stuff. They're very nice. They work there. So that. Okay. Oh, yes. A restaurant. I want to mention to you a restaurant. If you're in the South LA area, if you're in Inglewood, especially, Fiesta Martin. I have taken a few people from here at AfterBuzz there. I haven't taken Marissa there yet, my producer, but I've taken people here, and they agree with me. I know we haven't gone yet. I know we haven't gone yet to take her to Fiesta Martin. She's been to my house, but I haven't taken her down to Fiesta Martin. It's not from my house. It is, they're the first family of Inglewood now. They have 4 locations because I know the whole family. So the owners have 4 kids. They each got a location. It's amazing. And they're on La Brea Boulevard near Centinela in Inglewood. And they have also another one on Florence. The one they're showing right now, that's the original one. It's hot. It's popping in there every night. They have right down the street Fiesta Time Tacos. On Florence and La Brea, they have Fiesta Martin, another Fiesta Martin, and another place next to it. So there's 4 of them. The food is good. It's consistently good. That's what I've never had a bad meal there. It's fresh. And my girl Brianna, who works here, and we love, that's right, Fiesta Martin, we love the super burritos. They're so good. You can get any kind of meat you want them in them. Make sure they're wet burritos and with red sauce. Oh, tell them James Lott Jr. sent you. It is the bomb. If you have to fly out, stop there really quick to get something to eat. They also have, I can't eat anymore either. All these things I can't eat. They have nacho fries. And you can get them also with French fries. You don't have to get them with the nacho, you don't have to get them with the chips. So I used to get nacho fries with the fries, and I get carnitas on top. And if you don't know what carnitas is, that's pork. You can get it with chicken or steak, whatever, but I get carnitas on top, and cheese, and olives, and guacamole. Sour cream. Oh, God, now I'm getting hungry. But it's good. It's good. Their food is good. The service is excellent. I say it's a whole family, and they're all super, super nice. That's why I'll always continue to support them. And we'll get you there, Marissa. We'll get you there. We're going to get you there. It's good. Okay. So there are a couple of TV shows I want to mention to you because there's a lot of TV choices, and there are many things that are not even on regular TV, but these are actually on TV. One is American Housewife. It's on ABC. I discovered the show late last season. Katie Noxon she used to be on Mike and Molly. She was the sister. She is the funniest person on the planet. She is the modern Roseanne, basically, without all the politics. She is and then Dietrich Bader, who's been around, for 100 years, and is always underrated. He's so good as her husband. Each of the kids are so good. They had George Hamilton on the show as a regular. They just killed him off. Spoiler alert. But this show shows like how parents really are, how they talk to their kids, how I talk to my kids, how my daughter talks to her kids. It's a show my daughter and I both love. It reminds me of my daughter Tammy. We laugh about it all the time. The show is so fun. I mean, like laugh out loud. I laugh out loud. And then the other day he actually pulled my heartstrings, and I was like crying, which is not hard to do anymore for me anymore, but it was hard to put that one. ABC, couldn't tell you what night it comes on. I just always DVR it. So it's all, like, I want to say it's either Tuesday or Wednesday night, but I DVR it, and I just love it. Another show which I ran across kind of by accident, it's called Here and Now. It's on HBO. It is Alan Ball's new series. Now, that name sounds familiar. We're talking American Beauty. We're talking 6 Feet Under. Alan Ball, he produces some of the best, most unique television and movies. He's so interesting. Here and Now has Holly Hunter in it, who's one of the major stars in it, and it's kind of supernatural. I think you can see some of the stars of the show. It's kind of like supernatural, but it's also just drama based. It's also kind of funny. It's on HBO. It's an hour long, and I fell in love with it. I've been binging it. It's still its first season. I've been binging it. It's been so good. I just can't get over it. Another show that I love, and again, ran across the show like by accident on Freeform. I'm enjoying my Grownish. I'm enjoying Grownish, which is good. But it's called Alone Together. I actually tweeted with them the other day, and they actually tweeted back to me. Benji Aflalo and Esther Povitsky are the creators, stars of this quirky, strange, funny show. They're platonic best friends, like seriously platonic. And like that's the part that's so funny. There's no way they'll get together, and it's nothing like that. They're so oddly platonic that you would think they should belong together because they're so right for each other, because they're so both weird. They get into these situations every week. There's a great cast of side characters, including Chris D'Elia, who had his own show. He's a comedian who had his own show, Whitney, with Whitney Cummings. He's really funny as an older brother on the show. I don't know where they came from. I don't know who they are, where they came from. I love them. And my description that I'm telling you right now doesn't even do justice about how oddly funny this show is. It's set in LA. So they're kind of navigating their way through pretentious Los Angeles. And they're so odd. They're just so odd. I love them so much. Anyway, so I want to do that. The main thing I want to do with this was to showcase that there are people out there who are working hard. They're working hard to give you great content, whether it's on television, the web. You know, I've had many shows in here like Monogamy the series, 202 the series. They're pushing their content. I have people who do indie movies, who have companies. My friend Gerald Webb, who has companies, who wrote some scenes for me in one of his movies last year. That they're working hard to give you great content. There are people who are writing books. There are people who are, children. We have other actors here who have books out. Music. We have a lot of actors here who do music and music production, who work hard every day. And there's some of us who have our own businesses, and we're out there taking on the hits and taking on the misses and taking on our family obligations, because running a business, obviously, it is 24/7 for the most part. You have to find a way to will it down so you can have a life and be there for other people. But it is a job that really never turns off. Even if you're gone on vacation or you're trying to sleep, it's still there. I mean, it's kind of there, and it's one of those things you have to kind of sign up for when you decide to go and business yourself. For me, it was a life change. I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see. You hear that phrase all the time, and that was really for me. I wanted to be the boss that I always wanted. I wanted to run things the way I've always wanted to run things, that I wanted to see, and that was kind of the beginning basis. But then it became, now I can actually affect change in the world the way I want to affect change in the world, or at least try, right? And with my businesses and with people that I know who have businesses, I always am an encouraging cheerleader, just because it is not easy. But it can be so rewarding. And I want to make sure I mention that. It can be super rewarding if that's what is for you. Not everybody has the entrepreneurial spirit, and that's okay. Some people, that's why you need people who work for people. That's fine. But for those of you who feel creative enough or business-minded enough and you want to do it, I invite you to do it. Just try it. And you can start small, you can start big, however you want to do it. Just try it. It's worth. If it's your calling, it's worth it. It is super worth it. And I just completely encourage every person to live their dream out, because, like I said before, I have ancestors who came here who started from scratch themselves. I have a grandmother who worked as a janitor, worked as a maid, so that we didn't have to. They took jobs so that my father and his brothers didn't have to, and they took jobs so that us kids didn't have to, and I took jobs so that my kids didn't have to. It's just that whole generational thing. But I just want to make a great spotlight on entrepreneurship, small business. Small business is good. You don't have to be big business all the time. Small business is good also. And I have a lot of friends. I would give a shout out to my friends at Cultural Interiors in Los Angeles on Slauson. Nice small business that they have so many different things that go on through that business, through the community. You can affect change in the community with your business. You can give back. And that's what I try to do also. I try to give back. And it's just a wonderful feeling. Just a wonderful feeling. And I just think that it's, again, having your own business, being self-employed, working for yourself and working hard, that's admirable, and I applaud each and every one of you. That's our show today. So it's a little shorter show than we normally do, but I want to just kind of talk about that. And I have an outro song that I wanted to play, because I remember when this song came out, it was huge. And it's about a woman, of course, who she worked hard for the money, of course. And Miss Donna Summer, of course, who also is very, may she rest in peace. But it showed, again, another one of those things where you take the music out of it, it's a story, it's a short story about how some people out there are working really hard for the money. And I know we all are, aren't we, nowadays? You can follow us on iTunes. You can follow us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on YouTube, Black Hollywood Live Breaking Into. The Facebook page is Breaking Into. All these products I talked about and shows, and I'll have all the links on that page. You can go there and just click, and you can actually see what I was talking about. You may purchase some of these items. If you're an entrepreneur, if somebody has your own business or something that's going on, contact me. Maybe there's a place for you here on my show. We'll talk about it. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. everywhere on the social media platforms. And you know what? I work hard for money too. And I'll see you next time.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.